guys, hope you're doing well today. It's Fred and Sheila with Hatfield, McCoy Museum Adventures and Fred and Sheila Investigate.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Guys, this video here is going to come off of did a video yesterday and bragging on Michelle After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good video, and the reason it's good is we like truth with proof.
Yeah.
We like truth with proof. We like to look at something or interviews with the regular people, persons of interest. We like where we can watch people, what they say with their own mouths and own voices. And there's nothing like solid evidence. There's nothing like using somebody's own videos or audios or to prove a point or to disprove a point. In yesterday's video, I didn't mention anybody's name. I can't get around it. There's no way to get around mentioning people's names. Otherwise, there's so many persons of interest in this case that what's that reflection behind us, babe?
I think it's a shadow, maybe. I don't know.
So we like truth with proof. So when you can see a video of somebody's or something, it helps us to prove a point. Mm-hmm. Guys, I guess just right here, right from the beginning, Sheila will play a video.
Okay.
And that video will be from another YouTuber. Again, we bragged on all kinds of YouTubers. And I don't know if we put this YouTuber's name at the list at the back of the last video or not, but if we didn't, we will on this one. But this was a YouTuber, and they had made a video concerning a strange car. And you may recognize the person's voice. This is the person's own voice. This is not somebody that Fred's pointing his finger at or Sheila's pointing her finger at. This is not anybody trying to be mean. We're not alleging anything. We're not saying anything. We're trying to go with proof. Now, you're going to see this person, and she's talking about a strange car going up on the hill there to Wells's. Then you're going to hear her son, and then you're going to see the sheriff. And the sheriff, I'm not sure what word, it wasn't unfounded, but he said we investigated that and didn't find nothing to it. It's funny that this same person that's always saying, don't waste investigators' time. Don't aggravate these guys with nonsense information. Don't. At least 2 times now, and we'll play them both right here, one after the other. We'll play this video, and it'll show the sheriff saying that. And then you've seen the one before where said she heard a scream, and the sheriff says, that's unfounded. We didn't find nothing. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to discuss some other things in the other video. So first we're going to watch the videos, and then we'll pick you up on the other side.
Okay.
And there was a flash of a car that went up Candace and Donnie's driveway. Something about it struck me wrong.
We don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this case.
Just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Neighbor, hear a scream.
Best I recall, it's been a couple months ago. I think that was unfounded.
Okay, guys, if you saw them, I just want to touch base on some of the other things that's been said. Put a few things in perspective. It says she was tending her flowers. She dropped her purse. Said she heard a scream. The sheriff says that's unfounded. She got in the creek because she didn't want to mess the search dogs up when they got there. Within a couple of minutes of her saying she heard Candace looking for Summer, I'll look down here. And automatically it hits her. I better get in the creek and look where I don't mess up the dog's scent when they get here. Possible. told Candace, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry about what? Now, this was in one of the videos or on the news footage. We've seen so much by now. And the only thing we try to watch is people that's playing audio, video of these people, or watching their own videos of what they say. That's the best evidence you can have. We don't want other YouTubers' opinions. That's fine that they give it, and just like we do ours, but we like to look at the videos or the audio. But she says in one video that she told Candace, when Candace come down at the bottom of the hill and she was down there searching with the boys, I'm sorry, Candace. Sorry about what?
Now, she said Candace come off the hill and Grandis's car, which threw her off. And then she jumped up out of the creek when she saw it was Candace and said, I'm sorry. But she didn't know that she was talking to Don on the phone, that Candace was talking to Don on the phone at the time. So I don't know.
The point is here is, does Candace remember this?
Yeah.
Does Candace remember going to the bottom of the hill looking for Summer, and while she was there, Jody Sue Brown is who I'm referring to, the next door neighbor at 125 Ben Hill Road at the time. Does Candace remember Jody Sue coming up to her and saying, I'm sorry, apologize? And if she does, what was she apologizing about? In one of these videos, and it's going to play somewhere in this area, but may not be right on Johnny on the spot because she's going to have to go back and do that later. But Jody says that CPS was coming the next day. Don says that CPS had came the day before.
The CPS visit was the next day.
So she's saying the CPS visit was the next day, so the 16th. Well, Dawn said the CPS visit was on the 14th. It was when Summer was on the roof that the CPS turned up and cleared them.
DCS played the whole thing out. They come up here a day before Summer's disappearance. They brought the welfare lady brought her supervisor up here, and as I was talking to her, you know, we walked around the back of the house and she was looking around. She looked up at the eaves of the house and she come around this way, and I'm talking to her, running my mouth the whole time. And then they said, we're closing the case, everything's just great, hunky-dory, and we'll see y'all later. And then 24 hours later, almost exactly to the hour, Summer was gone. I was at work.
Jody Sue Brown says that CPS, Child Protective Services, Don told Sheila and I, and Sheila will probably play that video right here. Don told us that CPS had come the day before and had cleared everything. Everything was good. The complaint that they had, they brought the supervisor with her and everything was good. When they left there, everything was. Jody says that CPS wasn't coming until the next day. There's a strange car going up the hill. I'm just throwing things out there. Again, it's not to point fingers. It's to try to get some clarification. It's to try to get, I would love for Jody Sue Brown to contact us and let us set something up to where we can talk. Whatever makes her, not argue, not fight and fuss, not cuss and carry on, but actually have a discussion. She sounds like an intelligent, logical person sometimes. Sometimes she gets right. But we'd love to ask her and give her the opportunity to let her explain to us and everybody else that may be asking the same questions. Maybe once everybody gets in on the page she's on, maybe we'll understand better. But what's the deal? What's Jody's take on the people that was delivering the firewood that was on bedtime stories or cracking, or that they interviewed the people that was bringing the firewood, and those people said they chased her son Damien through the woods.
Said he had on a white shirt and jeans.
driveway, started screaming for Candace and blowing her horn. It's Jody Sue's son coming out of the woods.
Wow. Wow.
Someone was in the woods. They heard the driveway alarm go off. Two people went down the driveway. One chased the guy through the woods screaming, "I'm gonna kill you, you SOB." Okay?
Now, guys, that's the video on this clip. They saw somebody in the woods. Evidently, somebody had brought some firewood, and they saw somebody snooping around in the woods. They thought that was curious and hollered at him. He took off running. They gave chase. From what I can take from this video, they gave chase and ran him to the bottom of the hill, and that was her son that was in the woods at the Wells house when somebody spotted him.
He seen a person in the woods, white t-shirt, blue jeans. I got a picture sent to me tonight of Jody Sue's son.
Hey, I'm going to pull that up right now. Can he just say, is you around him? Okay, when I showed you that picture of Jody Sue's son, what did you say about the person in the woods? Oh, that's him. That's him? That's who you saw that day in the woods. Okay.
That audio you just heard is from Kraken Cases, and the woman speaking is one of the people who was on Candace and Don Wells' property, delivering firewood and other items to the Wells family when she, her daughter, and her son-in-law witnessed Jody Sue Brown's son, Damian Bernard, sneaking around the woods on the Wells property.
True or false? True or false? Jody could answer that for us. Jody could give us what happened. And how was Jody at the foot of the hill? She was there when Mrs. She was there when Damien was running through the woods and run down to the road. She said in one of these videos that there's acres and acres and acres.
These people online talking about where's this and where's parents where watching and blah blah. Bitch, please. Like, y'all live in the middle of the fucking suburbs and everything else. Your kids play out in the fucking yard in like a half an acre, quarter acre. Your asses are inside the fucking house watching football or off grilling or jerking off or doing whatever. We have fucking like acres and acres and acres of isolated land.
Acres and acres and acres and acres and acres
of isolated land.
Isolated land.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe nothing to it. Maybe nothing to it. It was just a statement that she made. And did she mean that for any particular purpose? Was that, I know she was talking about subdivisions. This is not like a subdivision where you have acres and a half acre. We've got acres and acres and acres. And that's somewhat what the problem is right now, because there's so much acreage, so much property to have searched. You know, guys, when you see a bunch of cars at the church, a bunch of cars at a parking lot somewhere, a bunch of people, 100, 200 people, it's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Sure is.
Now, when you put a 7 or a 10-mile radius around something, that's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop. It looks like a lot of people when you just look at it with the camera. Oh, we got searchers everywhere. Now, you put those 200 people, 100, I've heard 100, let's give them 200. Let's give them an extra 100 just for good measurement. Let's take those 200 people now and let's see how much territory we can cover before they have to go back to work, before they have to do other calls, and did they get 2 days after Summer disappeared? You know, there was a post, Michelle, After Dark, has it on, she's got the Facebook post, June the 17th, 2021. Two days after Summer disappeared, and Jody stated She thought Don and Candace was good parents. No fault of theirs. Parents not involved.
I'll tell you just from my personal opinion. Parents are not involved. If you were there, you'd understand.
In my opinion, Jody says. Now, if you talk to Jody or if you listen to her
Today, yeah.
listen to her videos while she's sitting in her car today or over the last she says something completely different. Nowadays, blames Candace and Don. Even says that Andy, that's her father, her babies. Andy, they were never married, I don't believe, but that's her living for years and years and years. I heard on one video she was talking, and she said they were together almost 30 years, if I heard her correctly. But she says in videos that Andy was selling drugs to Don so he could sedate, drug the kids, and touch them. That's a big allegation.
Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. I'm not standing in front of him anymore. Yeah. And I found about a few days before all the shit went down. I'm not kidding, dude. And I got the fucking receipts on it. And I'm sure law enforcement does as well. He had known Summer was also being abused, and he hid it from everybody, including me. And he was very much selling drugs to the children at 110, and to Candace for those children. Now, what all that was, I don't know. But I do know what was happening. And I very much think it plays a role in what was happening to other little girls over there. And I very much do think that it could be part of why Summer looks so asleep. Is maybe possibly Candace giving her the shit Andy was selling to her. So go ask. Because I still have fucking questions. And I think that it was occurring since before the Utah trip. It is part of why Josie was taken to Utah. Even though that was kind of a fucking lie, right? Why he went to Utah. But it's Andy's fault. And Candace's. Remember Candace saying Josie was, or Allie, or one of them talking about how Josie was using, and it's the reason he was taken. It's not the reason Josie was taken out there. But shit occurring around that time is why. He's responsible for it. From before Utah until. So you go ask him why he was selling drugs to those children. And to Candace for the children. Go ask. And ask him what type other than weed.
That's a big allegation to make against somebody, especially on video, on YouTube, and that's a big statement, I would think. I mean, she's got upset at things I've asked questions about. Sheila and I just asking questions. Imagine making a statement like that towards. And the thing is, my question has always been, why didn't she tell somebody? She could have saved Summer's life, or at least where she's at now, had she told somebody. Went to the sheriff or the police, TBI. My Libyans selling dope to across the road so they can sedate the children to touch them. There's been allegations about touching. There's been allegations about touching from Chris McDonough, where he was doing an interview, if I'm correct, where he was doing an interview with Hunter. And Hunter says that somebody's name that started with A, Andrew, Andy, something like that, started with an A.
Don calls Candace. I don't know if his name was Anthony, Andrews, or something with A. All I heard was the only thing that she told me from the phone call is that there was some dude, Andrew, Anthony, Andy, whatever it was. Just the name A. Okay. That's all I remember. Is that he's been up on the property for a week or two trying to, like, I guess you say, touch the little kids.
That Candace had told him that he was up there on the hill trying to touch children. Now that's on a tape that we heard, a YouTuber's tape. If only she had come forward with that information earlier, she might have saved Summer's life if something has happened to Summer. She'll play it about right here.
Okay.
But where the video where Jody Sue's talking, 2 days later, 2 days later after Summer come up missing, and she says, I don't know where it came from. Somebody was online talking about her sister being missing from Wisconsin.
And this was before she turned on Don and Candace. This was well before she was on YouTube. You know, she talks nightly now on her YouTube channel for hours and hours and hours. But at this point, she was doing Facebook Lives. This is her talking about how well loved Summer was.
Summer's still not home. Y'all keep your eyes and ears open. Please keep going to the websites and sharing her picture and her information. Know that half of what you're hearing and seeing, especially these dumbass comments and conspiracies, because I looked for all of 3 seconds today online, and I mean that. It was like a quick bloop with the news conference they were doing. I was like, oh, hell no. News conference had more accurate info. That was all fun and dandy, but people in the comments section are just, it's already this person's shit and that person's shit, and well, so-and-so's sisters disappeared, and that, shit started last night with search parties here, and probably us privately all talk between each other.
Oh, so it was Jody Sue and her crew who were overheard talking about the wells and the fact that Candace has a sister that is missing in Wisconsin. She's been missing for years and years and years. So that was the searchers overhearing Jody Sue and her crew talking. Interesting. So where have all these rumours come from originally?
And the searchers who'd heard us all talk, I don't know who the fuck heard that from where, honestly, but I was told that it got out last night at Mount Carmel. Either way, I'll tell you, the fucking two things ain't connected, and they're like 2.5 decades apart.
Well, not quite 2.5 decades, but yeah, the two are not connected.
Was told it got out. She heard that it got out that Candace had a sister missing. My question is, our question, heard it from where? You're on Facebook or talking on Facebook video. Got out from where? She says it got out about her sister. That's where I would ask, who said that? Who said that? Where somebody could go ask them what they know about this and what was the purpose of putting that out there? Was that to redirect? Was that to make it? They're already missing one person. This is really fishy now. Who started it? Give a name. Give a name. Sheila and I have always said on all of our Hatfield McCoy stuff, it's easy to say, I heard this or I heard that, or all these Hatfield McCoy books, people write the book all over. Each book copies off the book before them, and each one of them adds their own touch, or they'll say, I heard, or I believe, or when you hear somebody say, just my opinion, when you hear somebody say, I heard this or I heard that, ask them where they heard it from. Ask them where they heard it from, because more than likely, when you point that finger at somebody, look at this thumb. That thumb's pointing toward me. Those 3 fingers are, that's in the Marine Corps, you'll point like this. Everything's going forward. Don't understand that statement. Where'd that statement come from? She said she was very upset that this stuff had gotten started. Somebody had even mentioned about her sister missing. Who's somebody? Who is that? Where is that post? Where is that post? I can't find it on Facebook. I can't even find a page for her now. Like to see that where she's on Facebook and somebody up here, so-and-so. I heard about her sister missing in Wisconsin. That'd be great. And that's what we look for, guys. Things that you can rule things out. We're trying to rule her out. We're trying to rule the neighbor out. We're trying to rule her son out. We're trying to rule people out. It don't matter if we rule them out or not. Who are we? But just for our own little satisfaction, CSI, like the rest of you out there trying to help find Summer, where's that post at? It would be great, just like Sheila's done corrected. I asked a while back, I said, where's the flower pots? Does anybody know if there's any? She said she was tending her flowers. Has anybody ever seen any flowers? Nobody's ever said nothing. Lo and behold, we're watching a video the other day, and Sheila says, look. I said, what? She said, look at the flower pots. Never even noticed them. So she had flowers, or somebody has had flowers at the bottom of that driveway. She says she was tending flowers. We don't know that she was or wasn't on that day, but we know that there's flower pots there now. That goes towards her again telling the truth as far as having flowers. Whether she was tending them that day or not, we don't know. She had left the hill. She had left Ben Hill Road. Her and somebody, Andy, I believe. I think it's Killer Looks or somebody like that had posted a video that she had posted. And she's filming. And she says, we got out. We came out to get us something to eat, but we got to get back because the feds are waiting to talk to us. And then she says she does something like that, whether it's at the same time or we've got a child missing and we've got, what's that about? It could be anything. It could be totally innocent, totally irrelevant. But does it raise suspicions? Raises suspicions. Because she didn't realize that she was on live. And when she done that, show who posted it. Show who posted it. It says between 4:30 and 4:40. 4:30 and 4:40. That's when she heard the scream, I believe is what she says in that video.
Mm-hmm.
Between 4:30 and 4:40. And you know, a long time ago in one of our first videos, or how did they hear the scream inside of a cabin when Candace and Grandma didn't hear the scream and them outside, sitting outside? And some are even closer to them than they were up on the hill, and they're inside of a cabin. And I said, somebody needs to interview them. And what was they watching on TV? What part of the movie were they at when they heard this? Things like that. Well, I hear now that they wasn't watching. So what was each one of them doing? Were they playing charades? Were they had to be something quiet if they could hear a scream? But now Damien said it was an animalistic scream, so it must have been pretty loud. Animalistic. 4:30 to 4:40. See, I would go, if there was something on TV, I would say, okay, MASH must have been on, or whatever was on during those years. Because most people watch the same 6 o'clock news is on back before YouTube. Now everybody watches YouTube, but you could just about set your clock by, well, I just heard a scream. I'm watching MASH. So at least you can narrow it down to 30 minutes that happened during MASH.
Mm-hmm.
They said the TV wasn't on. Again, this goes back to good investigators, and when you separate people, and there's going to be little things here and there. If the truth isn't told, if the truth is told, I've always said, always tell the truth, and you never have to back up. Always tell the truth, and you don't have to remember what you said on this day or that day or to this person or that person. If you said it and it's the truth, you'll remember. There's only one way to remember it, the way it happened. Guys, once again, we're trying to, Sheila and I is trying to rule some people out.
Definitely, yeah.
In our opinion, we've ruled some people out just from watching their interviews with other people. Just not even talking to them. That's just in our mind, in our little book. Doesn't mean we're right. But the more people you can rule out, the less people that you have in. The smaller the pot gets, the less beans you've got in there. We're not ruling Candace and Don out, Grandma out. These people will probably be in there till the end. They're the parents. They're the
last ones to have been with her around the
or
time.
at least Grandma and Candace.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, they say Don came from work. The neighbors across the road, the neighbors in the vicinity, the neighbor is there. Help us rule people out instead of attacking people that's trying to help, trying to get to the bottom of this investigation and help anybody we can. Share what you know. You know, Jody says, and this is not an attack Jody video, where I wish they could clear Jody so her and her son could get out of it and be done. We could go to somebody else. But as long as we see these videos and these video clips, we hadn't seen this video clip until today. And when we saw it today on Michelle After Dark, this lady's kept her file. She's kept her video. She's kept her research. And she just goes and picks things up when somebody says it. She can go find the video. We like that. Truth with proof. And when you bring stuff like that out, it's not like we're pointing fingers. You said it. This is your video. This is your words you're going to see all through this video. Things that you said, things that, please explain them to. It's not that they're not explainable. You can probably explain them logically and intelligently and understandably. And that would be so good for not only us, but other people that may be thinking something. If you didn't have nothing to do with it, if your son didn't have nothing to do with it, we're not saying you did. We're saying there's, as an investigator, there's things that we certainly don't understand. I'm sure TBI, I'm sure the Sheriff's Department, I'm sure the FBI don't understand it neither. Because if they understood it, they wouldn't say nobody's been ruled out.
Is in charge of the investigation.
Everybody that's involved in this case is person of interest. We've not ruled anyone out.
They would say, well, so-and-so's been ruled out. So-and-so's been ruled out. Miss Jones been ruled out. Damien's been ruled out. That's not been said. Not by the sheriff. Not by TBI. Not by the FBI. It's not been said. When I look at things like I saw on this video today, I can understand why you've not been ruled out. Help us make your case for you. Help us make your case. You don't have to talk to us. Talk to other YouTubers. Talk to the police. Talk to law enforcement. Make your case to these questions that we're asking now. Drove up and down every holler between Ben Hill and to make sure Dobbs was gone. Now this is, watch Michelle After Dark. Today's the 18th, August the 18th. And in that video somewhere, but she says that Jody said that she searched the road between Ben Hill and some other place to make sure Dobbs was gone. To make sure Dobbs was gone? Or did she tell other people that she was looking for Summer? Or could she have been running down these hollers? Anything's possible. Anything is possible. I'm not making allegations. I'm asking a question. Could a person, just like when they come out of the holler that night, her and whoever was with her just like when they come out of the holler and they said, we got to get back pretty soon, and done that, could they have brought, hypothetically, let's just be men and women about this. Let's be grown-ups. Is there a chance that they went to get them something to eat, or is there a chance that they brought somewhere out of the holler and took her somewhere? Is that possible? It's possible. It's possible. Did it happen? We don't know. Are we alleging that? No. We're asking a question. Could it have happened? And we've never asked the question so much until we saw that video. And it makes you wonder, what was that all about? I would love for her to explain. Maybe she can do it on one of her videos.
Yeah.
Fred McCoy, I did this because, and maybe we'll understand it and we'll say, okay, that explains it. That explains it. And then again, we might say, it don't make sense. But at least she tried to explain it. She don't have to talk to us.
Mm-mm.
I'm hoping, again, that the police talk to her and her son again. That's not to be mean. That's to rule them out. Give them a chance to clear, have no doubt, and say, okay, they take polygraphs, and their daughter, and her daughter now, and her daughter, all three of them. She says all three of them heard the scream. All three of them was there. All three of them. Because that makes it even better. Because instead of two people trying to get their stories together, now you got to get three if there's any mistruths there. Now, if all three of them come up and it's boom, 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 as this investigator asked these questions, they ask question after question of different ones in different rooms, the same investigators, so they know what the other one said. And then they catch on to something. They say, wait a minute, what did you do before that? Oh, we went into we was eating popcorn, or we was, I won't go all into it. There's a lot to it. If there's any deceit there, the detectives can find it. And if there's not, rule these people out. Rule them out and say, they're no longer persons of interest. We've ruled them out. But once again, I'm going to say this: when you rule somebody out as a law enforcement agency, because I've saw it happen, and you rule them out, you talk about something embarrassing. If it comes back that they actually had something to do or had knowledge or done, you talk about embarrassment to a police agency. Up and down every holler looking for Summer, looking for Dobbs, or were they looking for a place to? Strange car. Guys, we've done discussed the strange car. Isn't it funny that she saw the strange car? She's the one saw this strange car and it come out in the news. Strange car. Sheriff says nothing to it. She's the one heard the scream. Come out in the news. Sheriff says unfounded. What I've got is a bunch
questions
of questions. Thank you. I was trying to see of questions. Some of these questions have led us to more questions.
Yeah.
Not to be mean.
No.
Not to be rude. Not to point the finger. We're inquisitive. Simply inquisitive. Simply have questions. Why would a person say they saw a car go up on the hill? If you've ever been up on Don and Candace's hill, when you go around that curve, Don and Candace can see you. When you go to that straight stretch there at the top of the hill, the dogs start barking. Mm-hmm. The dogs come after you. Had there been a car go up that hill from where that camper, correct me, babe, if I'm wrong, from where that camper was, where Grandma and Candace was putting her knee brace on, from that camper right over there to this curve right here, they would have seen a car. A car would have or heard it, but they would have had to come up the hill to turn to go back down. They would have had to come up there to turn to go back down the hill. Why is it Miss Brown says she seen a strange car go up on the hill. Grandma and Candace, who are suspects, who are people of interest, that would be their way out. Yeah, there was a strange car come up here and they left. We don't know why. They didn't use that. Maybe that's who picked Summer up and took her off. They just didn't know it. They didn't use no strange car. They didn't know about a strange car till they'd done talking to the police and it was all over with. And then Jody talks to the police and heard a scream, some people says this is afterwards, even afterwards. We don't know. The police knows that. How long is this video?
I wonder though, how rough was their driveway?
They said it was rough, babe. They said that the church people, I could be wrong. All we know is but they said it was rough. And after she came up missing, the church people went down, helped clean the house, went down, fix the driveway, put gravel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that to be true. I just know what we hear. And that's why we say this because we may not know it, but there's YouTubers out there. Now, law enforcement's not going to call Fred and Sheila up and say, hey guys, what do you all think? They're not going to do that. And that's okay. I understand that. They don't need us. But that's why YouTubers are getting so far. YouTubers are inquisitive. YouTubers are persistent and they stay on something. YouTubers don't care whose feelings they hurt. Believe me. That's okay. As long as we get to the truth. We're not trying to hurt people's feelings. We're not trying to point fingers. Everybody that knows us knows that we don't do that. But there comes a point. Are we manipulated? Are we threatened, or are we bullied to the point? I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but are we intimidated to the point that we say, hey, let's back off? We're not. And where there's questions, I guarantee you that the other people out here, Don and Candace, Grandma, Jody, Damien, the daughter, Andy, Fred Hill, all these people that's been named as suspects over the years, I guarantee you, they've asked, if they're innocent, they've probably asked the same questions that Sheila and I have been asking. Anybody that's innocent would be asking these questions. The only person that wouldn't be asking these questions is the guilty parties, because they know the answers. They don't have to ask. Why would you get upset over somebody inquiring about searching? I don't know. We were talking about a motorcycle earlier that maybe somebody got on a little trail bike and went up the holler because the camera never saw nobody leave. So maybe went up the holler. Like Sheila said, is there cameras up the holler? Were there cameras up the holler? Or are those cameras now? Did they capture anything? Why hasn't nobody ever mentioned? I've heard cameras everywhere in that holler. Guys, if you've got stuff going on that shouldn't be going on, a lot of times some people put the cameras up for security purposes. That's not a common thing. Nowadays, they're so affordable, anybody can do that. But if people had cameras up and the cameras disappeared, or the cameras came up missing, or the footage came up missing, why is that?
Good question.
What you got, baby?
No, I think
guys,
things covered everything or asked.
We are not. Now, there have been people that done that. There's been people bring up names, bring up suspicious cars, bring up sounds, noises. Sheriff says it's unfounded. Sheriff says they investigated it didn't happen, or they can't find no proof of it. If there's a trail camera at the end of Beach Creek and Ben Hill Road, and they say it found Don when he came home from work, when he come home when she's reported missing, and shows all these police cars and stuff, would it not have shown the strange car that went up on the hill at Candace's? Would it not have shown that strange car going back out of the holler? I would think that it would, or it's still up in there somewhere. One. A lot of questions, guys. We got to keep on. Michelle After Dark. Love the way she investigates. Love the way she shows proof.
Mm-hmm.
D. There's so many bedtime stories. There's so many, guys. We can't name them all. Don't even know. Sometimes people write us. You don't even know who you're speaking up for. These people done this. These people. We don't know none of these people. What we're looking at is what they're doing on the Summer Wells case, how they're investigating it, how they're going after evidence. I don't know about any other cases they've worked. I don't know about their backgrounds. I don't know about some of these people's criminal history. I'm not talking about none of the ones I mentioned just now. There's other ones that people's brought out. See, I don't care about none of that. That's up to the police and the sheriff and the FBI, GBI. I don't care about people's background. What we care about is people asking the right questions of anybody that may know something about Summer Wells. We don't care about Don Wells. We don't care about Candace. We don't care about Grandma. We don't care about the next door neighbors. We don't care about the man down the street. We don't care about the people in the head of the holler. We don't care. Those are grown people. They live their life. If this child is still alive today, imagine what she could be going through. Imagine what she could be going through or has gone through. You're up, baby.
All right. Let me see if you can hear it. All right, guys. We sure hope you're doing well this evening. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye. God bless.